Hello everyone. I welcome you all for the session 3 of Unit 5 Memories and Programmable Devices of the subject Digital Electronics for the third semester. In the previous session, that is in session 2, we have briefly classified the memories based on their storage capacity, based on their cost, based on their access time. Then later on, we have discussed the construction, the working principle, as well as the advantages and disadvantages and the features of magnetic memories, that is hard disk. And then we discussed some of the multiple choice questions. So in this session we would be discussing the ROM, the different variations of the ROMs like masked ROM, PROM, EPROM and EEPROM. There is one more version is available, that is flash ROM, which would be discussed in the next session. Read only memory. ROM stands for read only memory. The memory from which we can only read but cannot write on its is called as ROM. So here the manufacturer or the user can write into memories only once. Once they are written means, so they are not editable, but they can be read as many as the number of times the user may wish to. So these are the old version of ROMs where the writing only once was possible, but can read one user was allowed to read many a times as they wish. These type of memories or ROM memory is a non-volatile kind of memory because the whatever the information that is stored in this kind of memories will remain permanently. Its validity doesn't depend upon the supply power. So even though uh, power is removed means also, then also if the power abruptly goes off, or if the user switch off the power means whatever the information that is stored in the ROM will not get erased. So that's why they are referred as non-volatile memories. Whereas in case of RAM, that is a kind of volatile memory where the retention of information depends upon the power supply. So in case of ROM, generally the frequently read programs are stored like boot up programs to load operating system, or the lookup tables which were frequently used by the processors. ROM chips are not only used in computers but also in many consumer electronic devices like washing machine, microwave ovens, cell phones and cameras. Now we shall see the different variations, or you can say the different types of ROMs that are available in the market nowadays. Very first version is the masked ROM. A second one is PROM, which is abbreviated as programmable read-only memory. And the next version is EPROM, that is erasable programmable read-only memory. And the fourth version is EEPROM, which is electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. So here, among these variations, the first two variations that are the masked ROM and PROM, they are one-time programmable. The masked ROM, these are programmed by the manufacturers during the manufacturing only, whereas the user is given a provision to write their own code in case of PROM version. So in these two programs, sorry, in these two variations, they can be programmed only once, and they cannot, once they are programmed means they can be read many times as the user may wish to. But the thing is, the erasing uh, option is not available. So once it is coded means the code will remain in it permanently. So if you want to change the code means you have to purchase a new version, or sorry, new one from the market itself. So the next two versions, so where the erasing option is also available, those are EPROM and EPROM. In case of EPROM, the erasing process is done by exposing the chips to some ultraviolet rays, they have to be physically removed from the socket where they are inserted. And the next version is EEPROM, so where the erasing option is done through some electrical pulses. So in both these cases the erasing option is available, but they use the different technologies. That's it. First we shall see the working principle of masked ROM. So here, as you can see from the figure here, there is a switch provided at the point P here, and the gate and this is a transistor. So here where the gate is connected to void line and the drain is connected to the bit line. So logic 0 is stored if the transistor T, this is the transistor T, is connected to the ground at point P, otherwise logic 1 is stored. So here in the sense, so here the switch position, if it is connected, if it is connected in the sense, if this is connected to this point, then it will store a logic 0, a logic 0. If it is not connected or if it is left open means it will store 1. Data is written into masked ROM. Here the data is written into masked ROM during the manufacturing only. So they can be used to store fixed programs and data. So here the user is not given a provision to write their content. So this is programmed by the manufacturer during the manufacturing process only. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಈ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಇತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಲಾಜಿಕ್ 0 ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ದ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಓಪನ್, ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಟೋರಿಂಗ್ 1. How to read the data? As we can store 1 and 0 here, we shall see how to read the data here. Usually the bit line is connected to the supply. Bit line and ಒಂದು supply connect ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. At the end of bit line we will be having a circuit called as sense circuit. So this sense circuit is going to read whether the content that is stored in the a single masked ROM cell as 1 or 0. There is a sense circuit which is connected at the end of the bit line. To read the state of the cell, a word line is activated. So first ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವರ್ಡ್ ಲೈನ್ ನ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ವರ್ಡ್ ಲೈನ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಓಕೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗೇಟ್ಗೆ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. And the voltage on the bit line takes an appropriate value depending on whether the transistor is connected to ground or not. So bit line ಅನ್ನ supply ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. So let's say if it is connected to a supply voltage of 5 volt and the word line is also activated here. Word line ಅನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, activate ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So once this word line is activated, this is going to turn on the transistor. The sense circuit which is connected at the end of the bit line, it will take the value, a proper value of 0 or 1. So whether this P is connected to it is in the connected position or in the open position, based on that it will read the value either 0 or 1. Let us say for case 1. So in case 1, let's say this P is not connected. If it is not connected andaga, so no doubt the transistor is, even though the transistor is activated, but there is no path to there is no proper path for discharging its voltage to 0. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ 0 ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಗ್ರೌಂಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾತ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಡಿಸ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಪಾತ್ ಇರದೇ ಇರೋ ಕಾರಣ the sense circuit it will read the value it as 1. ಯಾವಾಗ if the switch is in open condition, or if it is not open, if it is not connected andaga, the sense circuit will read the value it as 1. Let us say another condition. Let us say now if the switch is in closed condition, means the point P, now it is in the closed condition. Closed condition is this path is closed. So whenever this path is closed, now if the same process is carried out once again, means now if the transistor is activated, by activating the word line. If the transistor is activated now, if since the point P is connected to ground, so now the transistor has gotten path to get discharge its value to ground. So if you connect a sense circuit at the bit line at the end of this bit line here, so now the sense circuit, it will read the value it as 0, not as 1. This is how the sense circuit which is connected at the end of the bit line will read the content of the uh, single ROM cell as 0 or 1. A sense circuit at the end of the bit line generates a proper output value. So this is how uh, the programming is done by the manufacturer during the manufacturing processes by closing the switch at P or by opening it. By default, all switches will be in open condition, and uh, sorry, they will be in open condition. So they will be in closed condition. If they are open, means that will be storing 0. If they are open, if they are in open conditions, that will be storing 1, and if they are in connected position, that will be storing 0. A sense circuit which is connected at the end of the bit line will read the content it has 0 or 1. This is how we are going to write the content into the mask drum and read the content from the mask drum. So this is programmed by the manufacturer. Another variations of the ROM is PROM. So here the only difference between the mask ROM and PROM is both are one-time programmable, but PROM, so here the user is given a provision to program it by burning out the fuses. But in case of previous version, that is mask ROM, the user was not allowed to write his content. Instead, the manufacturer will decide what should be the content in each cell. That is the only difference. Some ROM designs allow the user to load the data. This is known as programmable ROM. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸರ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ತಮ್ಮದು ಓನ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬರಿಬೋದು. Programmability is achieved by inserting a fuse at point P. Before it is programmed, the memory contains all zeros. Once they are programmed, means user can insert once at the required location by burning out the fuses at these locations using high current pulses. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು, ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ, ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ ನೋಡಿದ ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಇದೇ ತರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇತ್ತು. The only difference is instead of having a switch here, there is a fuse here. By default ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, this fuse will be there at the point P, so which indicates that by default all cells will be storing a logic 0. So whenever user wants to program it to 1, means he should burn out this fuse. ಈ fuse ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, burn ಮಾಡಬೇಕು with some high current pulses. So whenever these fuses are burned, means there is no discharge path will be given, it will be provided for the transistor, so that by default the transistors will be storing logic 1. Okay. Thus the PROM provides a flexibility and convenient not available with the ROMs, masked ROMs. So masked ROM nalli manufacturer only decides whether the switch at the position P to be in closed condition or open condition. But as in case of PROM, there is a fuse. The user may decide whether to burn out the fuse or keep it as it is. So this provides some flexibility and convenience for the programmer. However, the programming process is also irreversible here. That is, once it is programmed, it cannot be changed later on. So as earlier I told you, both masked ROM and PROM are one-time programmable, because the erasing option is not provided, because the process of programming is irreversible. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ವಾಪಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈಗ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸೇ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ PROM, if the fuse is burnt with high current pulses ಅಂದ್ರೆ this is irreversible. ಮತ್ತೆ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ನ ಮುಂಚೆ ತರ ಜೋಡಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, ಒನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ROM ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ. PROM ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸರ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಏನು ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಂತ. The next version is EPROM. This is nothing but erasable programmable read-only memory. So here, along with the programming facility, the erasing facility is also provided for the programmer. There is a slight modification is done in the structure here. That modification to the PROM allows the data to be erased and new data can be loaded as many as the number of times that the user wish to. The erasable and reprogrammable memory so is also called as EPROM. That is, here the erasing option is also provided to the user, as well as the programming option is also provided to the user. That's why they are referred as EPROM. An EPROM cell has structure similar to the cell as shown in the figure here, as shown in the earlier with the connection to the ground made at point P. So in previous case nalli nodidaga there was a fuse at point P. So but here there is no fuse. The connection is made permanently to the ground here. So ನೀವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ there is a connection which is made permanently to the ground. The only difference that you are going to see in the structure of the gate here, that we will see here. Here in EPROM, a special MOS transistor consists of two gates. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಗೇಟ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ. Instead of having single gate, there will be two gates. One will be a control gate and another will be a floating gate. Floating ಮತ್ತು control gate ಅಂತ ಎರಡು ಇರ್ತವೆ. In addition to the drain and source ಅಂತೂ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತವೆ. Along with that, ಗೇಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರ್ತವೆ ಎರಡು ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಗೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ಲೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಗೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. By default ಏನಿರ್ತವೆ, these won't be in contact with each other. So physical connection ಇರಲ್ಲ control gate ಮತ್ತು floating gate ಮಧ್ಯೆ. In the normal state, there is no electrical connection between the control gate and floating gate. Means if there is no connection between the control gate and floating gate, so as you can see there is a gap provided here. These are not in physical contact with each other. By default, the transistor will be in off state. So as we know that the transistor is in off state, so as there is no discharge path for the transistor to drain its value to 0, by default all transistors will be storing a logic 1. So if you connect a sense circuit at the end of the bit line here, by default the transistor, since it is in off condition, it will read the value always as 1. So what if the user wants to program it, so he has to program zeros instead of ones here. The transistor can be turned on by application of high voltage programming pulse that index high energy electrons into the floating gate region. So whenever user wish to program, means by default the transistor was in off condition and it was storing a logic value 1. Let's say if the user wants to program it andaga, andre user if he wish to store a logic 0 andaga, so he has to use a high voltage programming pulse which will inject. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ electrons ಗಳು ಏನಾಗ್ತವೆ, inject ಆಗ್ತವೆ. So once the electrons are injected here, they remain permanently trapped here, making an electrical connection between the control gate and floating gate. So ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಹೈ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಪಲ್ಸಸ್ ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತವೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ದೀಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಗೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ಲೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಗೇಟ್. ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ there was no physical contact, but using high current pulses we made a physical contact between the control gate and floating gate by inserting electrical charges here. That's why I can say the transistor will get turned on. Once the transistor gets turned on, means now the transistor has gotten path to discharge its voltage to voltage down to 0. Means so it will store a logic 0 once we apply high current pulses. So these electrons which are injected, they remain trapped in this region once the pulse is removed. So initial period ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ high current pulse ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ electrons ಗಳು inject ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. After that, even though current pulses ನ ತೆಗೆದ್ರು ಕೂಡ the charges they remain trapped here permanently. As there is no discharge path here, they remain trapped permanently here, making a physical connection between the control gate and floating gate. This keeps the transistor on permanently. So transistor ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, on ಆಗುತ್ತೆ even when power is removed from the device, and cell now it stores a value 0. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, by default all cells they store a value 1, and the programmer, if he wants to program, means he has to program it 0, program the cell content to 0 by inserting the charge carriers using some high current pulses between the control gate and floating gate. Then how to erase the content here? Once the EEPROM cell has been programmed, it can be erased by exposing it to ultraviolet rays. So ultraviolet light andre illi irutte. So the photocurrent by the ultraviolet rays, they are used to remove the trapped charges. So the ultraviolet rays are made to insert on the chip through a window that is provided on the chip package. So ಈ chip package ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ವಿಂಡೋ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, so if you want to erase the content ಅಂದಾಗ, so this chip has to be unmounted, or this chip has to be removed physically, and in some environment they are exposed to the UV light. So the UV light, whenever it is made to insert, or whenever it is inserted on the chip ಅಂದಾಗ, so through this window, ಈ ವಿಂಡೋದಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, UV light ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಎರೇಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. The UV light produces a photocurrent. That photocurrent removes the stored charges. Now, as I already told you, using some high current pulses for programming, you used some high current pulses. So using those high current pulses, the charges were created and they were remained trapped in the between the floating gate and control gate. To remove those charges, as there was no discharge path, the charges, they remain trapped permanently there. To remove those charges, it is exposed to the UV light. So the photocurrent from the UV light, photocurrent ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದೇನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್. ಆ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ಡ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೋ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ the transistor which was in turned on condition, now it again gets turned off, thereby restoring the cells to logic 1 state again. ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲಾಜಿಕ್ 1 state ಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಆಗಿ ವಾಪಸ್ ಲಾಜಿಕ್ 1 state ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ here the UV light, it erases all the cells at the same time, so that erased EEPROM stores all ones. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, typical this process is, here the selective erasing option is not available. Selective erasing in the sense, I cannot select a particular cell from the total memory and I cannot erase it. So as a whole, ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎರೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ನ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಎರೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ಟಿಪಿಕಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 15 to 20 minutes, which is a quite large time. Then what are the advantages of EEPROM? Obviously this is less expensive, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಖರ್ಚಿರುತ್ತೆ. A production in low and medium value is possible. The information store can be erased and reused. And then what are the disadvantages? They must be physically removed from their circuit to erase. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ, so in order to do the erasing operation, one has to physically unmount the EEPROMs from their socket, and they have to be exposed to the UV light under certain environment. A separate environment is needed for the erasing option. Erase operation erases entire chip. Selective erase is not possible. As I told you, I cannot select a particular cell and erase it. As a whole, I can erase all the cells at once, and it takes a quite large time. As I told you, it takes around 15 to 20 minutes, which is a quite large time ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Next version of the ROM is EEPROM or E square PROM ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. EEPROM in the sense electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. This is again the structure is very similar to the EEPROM only, but the only difference is thin gate oxide layer is inserted that between the gate and drain. That is the first difference in the construction. And here the selective erasing option is available. And the third one is, here the erasing operation is done through some electrical method. We'll see the operation. So here EEPROM, it also can be erased as well as programmed by the electrical pulses. So here the electrical pulses, under different current pulses are used to write it as well as to erase the content on it. So here EEPROM also uses mass circuitry very similar to that of EEPROM. So EEPROM structure irutte ಅದೇ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So EEPROM retains the floating gate structure as EEPROM, but with an addition of very thin oxide region above the drain of the MOSFET. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, the structure is very similar to that of EEPROM, but only thing is an extra oxide region is uh, poured on the drain, so which produces the EEPROM's major characteristics, its electrical erasability. ಸೊ ಇದೇ ಒಂದು ಫೀಚರು ಅದನ್ನ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಎರೇಸಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಫೀಚರ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಥಿನ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಅದರ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ನ ಎರೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಹೈ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಪಲ್ಸಸ್. Okay, by applying a high voltage, typically around 21 volt, between the MOSFET's gate and drain, a charge can be introduced onto the floating gate where it remains even the power is removed. The reversal of same voltage causes the removal of trapped charges from the floating gate and erases all the cells. Andre by applying plus 21 volt, I can make the charges to be remain trapped in the control gate, between the control gate and floating gate. By reversal of the voltage means by supplying minus 21 volt, the same charges which were remain trapped between the control gate and floating gate can be removed. So this is how we are going to erase the content. What are the merits? Merits ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ EEPROMs need not to be removed from the circuit and exposed to the different environment for erasing. So which was not in case of EEPROMs. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೀ EEPROMs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಫಿಸಿಕಲಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಅನ್ಮೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎರೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ need to be removed from the circuit. So let them be in the circuit only, and if they are exposed to the different current pulses, or you can say some with some high voltage, ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, we can do the erasing option. They need to be removed physically from the circuit. That is an advantage. It is possible to erase the cell contents selectively. This is again another advantage. In case of EEPROM, the selective erasing option was not provided. Means as a whole, the user was given a provision to erase all the cell contents at once. But here, in case of EEPROM, we can select a particular cell and we can erase it. That is another provision, or that is an again merit ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. EEPROMs can be erased within a short span of time, let's say within 10 milliseconds, approximately around 10 milliseconds. So where in case of EEPROMs, they need around 15 to 20 minutes for their erasing operation, but here they need only 10 milliseconds. Within a short span of time, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಹಳ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದ್ರ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎರೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. Then what are the disadvantages or demerits? So here the only disadvantage is the EEPROMs need different voltages for erasing, writing, as well as reading the stored data. So one should have the different voltages for all these three operations. So that is the only disadvantage. Now let us discuss some multiple choice questions. The very first one is, which of the following has capacity to store the data permanently? First one RAM, second one ROM, third one both RAM and ROM, and the fourth one is none of the above. Obviously the answer would be ROM. ROM is a kind of permanent storage anta helbodu, or you can say non-volatile memory anta helbodu. So here, even though if the power goes off, the data that is retained in this kind of memories, or then in these versions of the memories, they won't get lost. Why ROM is called as non-volatile memory? The same thing that I have explained here. They lose memory when power is removed. They do not lose memory when power is removed. They lose memory when power is supplied. They do not lose memory when power is supplied. Obviously the answer would be they do not lose memory, or they do not lose their content even though power is removed. The second one is the answer. Third one, the ROM chips are mainly used to store. First one, system files. Second one, root directories. Third one, boot files. And the fourth one, driver files. So ROM chips are generally used to store the startup programs like boot files. So booting is nothing but the actual process of loading the OS. All OS files will be stored in the ROM chips. That is the third one is the answer. And the fourth one, PROM stands for, first one, programmable read-only memory, preferred read-only memory. The third one is pre-required read-only memory. And the fourth one is programmed read-only memory. The answer is programmable read-only memory. The contents of EEPROM are erased by overcharging the chip. Second option, by exposing the chip to UV rays. The third one, exposing the chip to IR rays, that is infrared rays. And the fourth one, discharging the chip. The answer would be the second one, exposing the EEPROM to ultraviolet rays in a separate environment. Sixth one, the disadvantage of EEPROM is the high cost factor. Second one, low efficiency. Third one, low speed of operation. Fourth one, they need to remove the chip physically to reprogram it. Obviously, the answer would be fourth one, because here, as I told you, to do the erasing operation on the EEPROM, they have to be physically unmounted, or they have to be removed physically, and they have to be exposed to the UV rays. So that is the major disadvantage ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Seventh one, the disadvantage of E square PROM or EEPROM is the requirement of different voltages to read, write and store information, the latency read operation. Third one, the inefficient memory mapping schemes. Fourth one, all of the mentioned. The answer would be option A, the requirement of different voltages to read, write and store information. This is the major disadvantage of E square PROM ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Which version of the ROM allows selective arrays of data within them? PROM, EEPROM, EEPROM and none of the above. PROM, the erasing operation is not at all available here. In case of EEPROM and EEPROM, here in case of EEPROM, we can erase it in the mass. We cannot erase selectively any content of the cell. But here in EEPROM, the user is given a provision to erase selectively. So the answer would be EEPROM. EEPROM stands for, ninth question, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory, easily erasable PROM, electronically erasable PROM, none of the above. Obviously the first answer would be the first option, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. Now the 10th question, which of the following takes more time for its data erase operation? E square PROM, EEPROM, PROM and none of the above. So here obviously typically the erasing operation is provided, or the erasing option is made available in EEPROM as well as EEPROM versions of the ROM. Typically EEPROM, it needs 15 to 20 minutes for the erase operation to be completed, but for E square PROM they need only 10 milliseconds. So here the question is asked for which one will take more time. So answer would be EEPROM, which takes around 15 to 20 minutes. So with this, I am going to conclude the session. I thank you, Uma Maheshwar sir, who is the moderator of this course, and Lalita madam, who is subject expert. and myself Ishwar Kumar Narade and my colleague Sriti Z. Thank you.